August 1953. It is past midnight in Tehran. A black car moves quietly through empty streets. Inside that car is a decision that will change Iran forever. But why would a secret meeting in a palace shape world politics for the next 70 years? But this car is about to arrive at one of the most important meetings in modern Middle Eastern history. The gates of Sadabad Palace slowly open. Inside the palace, a secret meeting is waiting. One man represents the king of Iran. The other represents one of the most powerful intelligence agencies in the world. No cameras, no reporters, no official records. But what happens inside that room will change Iran forever. And the effects of that night are still being felt today. To understand today's tensions around Iran, we need to go back to the early 1950s. At that time, Iran had a democratically elected prime minister named Mohammad Mossadegh. He was popular with many people in Iran, and he made one very bold decision. He said Iran's oil should belong to Iran, not foreign companies. For years, Western companies had controlled most of the country's oil industry. Mossadegh wanted to change that, so he nationalized the oil industry. Inside Iran, many people celebrated this decision, but outside the country, powerful governments were deeply concerned. Oil was extremely important to the global economy, and suddenly, control of that oil was uncertain. This is when intelligence agencies began discussing a plan. The plan was called Operation Ajax, and one of the main people running this operation was a CIA officer named Kermit Roosevelt Jr. But this plan did not involve a traditional invasion. Instead, it used influence. Money was secretly given to organize protests. Newspapers were encouraged to publish stories against the prime minister. Political groups were pushed into the streets. Soon, Tehran was filled with demonstrations and unrest. To the outside world, it looked like the government was falling apart, but much of that chaos had been carefully planned. Within days, the situation exploded. Military forces loyal to the Shah moved in. The prime minister was arrested, and Iran's king, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, returned to full power. For the United States and its allies, the operation worked, but for many people in Iran, this moment became a symbol of foreign interference, and that memory would shape Iranian politics for decades. But the story didn't end there. In fact, the next chapter would be even bigger. For the next 25 years, the Shah ruled Iran. During this time, the country changed quickly. Cities grew, new roads and industries appeared. Iran became one of the most modern countries in the region. But not everyone was happy. Many people believed the government had become too powerful. Political opponents were often silenced, and anger slowly began to grow. By the late 1970s, protests were happening across the country. Millions of people filled the streets. Eventually, the pressure became too strong. The Shah left Iran, and in 1979, a revolution completely changed the country. A new government was formed under the leadership of Ruhollah Khomeini. Iran was no longer a monarchy, it became the Islamic Republic, and relations with Western countries changed dramatically. Former allies quickly became rivals. From this point forward, tension between Iran and the West would define the region's politics. But the story still wasn't finished. In fact, the next chapter would be even bigger. For more than 40 years, relations between Iran and Western countries have remained complicated. Sometimes there were negotiations, sometimes there were sanctions, and sometimes there were military confrontations happening through allies and regional conflicts. One of the biggest disagreements involved Iran's nuclear program. Western governments worried Iran might develop nuclear weapons. Iran said its program was meant for peaceful energy. Negotiations continued for years. Sometimes agreements were reached, but trust remained fragile. Every political change risked reopening the conflict. By the 2020s, tensions were once again rising. sanctions continued to put pressure on Iran's economy, and ordinary people began to feel the effects. Economic pressure can slowly change a country. When trade becomes difficult, prices rise. When prices rise, daily life becomes harder. In markets across Tehran, families began noticing something troubling. Food was becoming more expensive. Jobs were harder to find. Businesses struggled to stay open. For many citizens, frustration turned to anger. Soon, protests began appearing in major cities. Some people demanded economic reforms, others demanded political change. Crowds grew larger and tensions grew higher. In situations like this, even small events can trigger larger conflicts. Why does all of this matter to the rest of the world? The answer is geography. Iran sits near one of the most important waterways on the planet. The Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. A huge portion of the world's oil travels through this narrow channel every single day. If shipping through this area stops, the impact will be felt worldwide. Fuel prices could rise dramatically, global markets could react instantly, and industries across many countries would feel the pressure. That's why stability in this region matters so much. A crisis here rarely stays local. It spreads across the global economy. Another major difference between today and the 1950s is technology. Back then, intelligence operations depended mostly on human spies. Today, surveillance systems are far more advanced. Satellites circle the Earth constantly. They track movement, communication signals, and military activity. Powerful computers analyze massive amounts of information. Governments can monitor events around the world in real time. This technology has completely changed how modern conflicts are understood. But even with all this technology, one thing hasn't changed. Human decisions still shape history. When we look at Iran's modern history, one thing becomes clear. The story is not simple. It is shaped by many different forces: internal politics, international influence, economic pressure, and decades of mistrust. From a secret meeting in a palace in 1953 to the complex geopolitical tensions of today, the story continues to evolve, and the decisions made today may shape the region for many years to come. Because history doesn't simply disappear, it echoes through the present. And sometimes, the consequences of one quiet meeting can last for generations. If you enjoy stories that reveal the hidden moments behind major world events, make sure you subscribe and join me for the next one. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.